What's up, Dumpster? How you doing, man? I saw something that you did fairly recently, I think. Posted something. Ah, it was a screenshot. Okay, yeah, I saw it. Very nice. Throw it in there, man. I remember when you were working on yeah. Yeah, man. Dragline salvage, dude. That was the March challenge from 2019, I wanna say. I thought this would be easier, but I feel like I should have just started from scratch. Captain Moore, what's up? We're kind of gutting out an old build here. I'm just trying to do something here. I don't like the way my asymmetrical build's going, so I'm trying something else. Taking a minor shortcut. I'm telling you, man, it's scary, right? I get scared too, don't worry. Alright, so we got 4 complete cargo systems here. Get rid of some of this fluff. Oh god, I almost forgot my coffee. Holy crap, that would have been horrible. Oh yeah. Oh man, every month, dude. Every month it's been just phenomenal just seeing the stuff that's come out. Like it's yeah. And honestly, it's, you know, it's a reason to stop and just kind of look at other people's stuff, you know. It's inspiring. Like, you don't normally give yourself a chance to do that. At least I don't. I don't really take the time as much as I should to just kind of look at everything and spawn it in and stuff. Just so busy with everything, and it's nice to, you know, at least twice a month to get in here and look at what everybody's kind of done. It's pretty cool. I can't believe I went this route. Like, this was somehow faster. This was so not faster. I could have just made 4 things. It would have been way quicker than this. All right, now we're talking. So now that I know that HV drill turrets are just stupid OP, I want to make like an earth mover, really machine thingy, massive cargo. Just yeah, that's what I'm doing. But asymmetrical. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna achieve this, but I tried over here. I don't like it. I can't save this. I don't know what this is. I just know I don't like it. So this has 2 cargo systems. Meh. Yeah, I'm cool. So then last night, I was talking to Neuro while I was taking apart the Labris, my old HV build, and trying to revamp that. So I am kind of working on that. Even pulled out the old school box cutter and started messing with that a little bit. And you know, we still have this weird gunblade rendition here that this is my backup. If this doesn't work out, I'm gonna have to go to this for the challenge. I don't know. See how it goes. I honestly didn't anticipate having such a hard time with building something, but yeah, I mean, it's just really taking me for a loop. Which, you know, I mean, it is what it is. No, not yet. It will be, sir. It will be. I'm also, I'm more than halfway through the, so I've been rewatching the Harry Potter movies with my daughters here. My youngest one hasn't seen any of them, so she's been watching them, and it's been going really well. So we're at Order of the Phoenix. We just watched that tonight. That's why the stream was so late. And yeah, I'm pretty, you know, it's weird, right? But you know, it's really, I've come to a conclusion, which is kind of it's not really a hot take. It's probably a pretty much a cold take, right? But I'm pretty convinced that when movies, especially like these big like universe things, come from actual written content first, they end up better. Like, you can't, you know, you're no longer worried about creating lore. You're just worried about upholding the lore, and it kind of forces the writers to work within the constraints of something that's already proven, which is way better than the latter. And you know, of course, I'm talking about Star Wars, right? I was watching some stuff online about, they're talking about completely writing the new trilogy off as not being canon anymore. And I was seeing a lot of stuff about Kathleen Kennedy and all this other crap. Just stuff I don't really get into that kind of stuff. Like, you know, all the bullshit and stuff about some of these things. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. I was like, all right, so really, like, that's what's going on? So, and I won't really get into it, but it's just basically like they're at odds with what, you know, it should be, and this and that. And I guess Lucas, people that are more loyal to Lucas, want to just completely write it off as not canon and do something else. Which, I mean, I don't think you could do any worse. Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, I mean, you look at, you know, you look at Lord of the Rings, right? You look at, I mean, the Hobbit movies were rushed and blah, blah, blah. But even the Hobbit movies, I think, were better than the latest Star Wars trilogy, right? But Yeah, I don't know. I just find that like the Harry Potter movies are freaking amazing, and they're pretty consistent. I mean, listen, I read the books. I read them a while ago. But I mean, I of course I'm sure there's little things that people got upset about here and there about the movies and stuff, and that's fine. Everybody's gonna get upset about something, but yeah, I don't think you could deny that. You know, it's way better than what happened with kind of the Star Wars stuff. So I hope they get their head together, man, because I really want to see it get turned around, because like the Mandalorian, man, was a perfect example of how great it can be if they just like let it happen. But you got all this bullshit happening in Hollywood, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's people's jobs, right? Like, they're worried about losing their jobs, they're worried about this and that, they want to, so because of that, you get bullshit like that happening and whatnot. So I don't know. I realized that I parked in the wrong place here. I should have been right over the sun. I hate it when I do that. I'll get into a scenario and I'll forget all about that. Really? I love the Expanse, dude. But I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to read the books first, I don't see it as an issue though. Either way, I think that um, where did I stop? Um, I guess it would be this right here. Oh, right here. Oh. Yeah, I just wish they would get, you know, I don't know. I think Hollywood needs to stop feeling like they need to be the there's movies out there, right, that are important. There's tons of movies out there that are important for society. They're important to show, kind of what happened, show what could happen, show what, I totally get that. And I think those movies are important, but I don't think every movie, especially movies about superheroes and shit like that, need to give us, all these, I don't know, these over like political statements and stuff. Like, I don't get it. Especially when it's sci-fi and when it's from, some other realm and just completely different, I don't know, it's too much. It's just too much, and it's like you're supposed to watch movies because you know you want to get away from bullshit, not because you know you want to. Why is this uneven? I'm so confused. I feel like this should have been perfectly even. I mean, I don't understand what happened here. I miscalculated somewhere. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Aha! Yeah, I mean, just you know, and it's true. It's really true, man. Like I've been showing my kid like movies from you know when I grew up and stuff, like good movies, you know, like classic '80s and '90s movies, and um, you know, and it's like they don't make those movies anymore, man. Like those movies don't exist anymore. That didn't change anything, did it? Oh, now this has to be 5. This is not even. Yeah, I mean, I'll put "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead" up against anything today, man. You know, I mean, movies like that. I mean, you can't compete with that, man. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, shit like, come on, they don't make movies like that. Yeah, no, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. Um, yeah, and I mean, you know, it did have a message, of course, and I mean, I think that's a pretty. I don't think who could argue with that message. You know what I mean? I mean, who's in denial that we are in fact destroying, you know, the planet and this and that? And yeah, I mean, you know, I guess people could say. I'm not going to get into an argument about climate change or anything like that, but just, you know, it's obvious that humans do have a tendency to, you know, be a bit viral when it comes to you know, and I don't mean viral like you know, trending. You know what I mean? I mean that's obvious. Nobody can deny that. So I mean, yeah, that's all that message was. I don't think it was a very insidious message. I think it's pretty obvious, right? But whatever. But at the end of the day, it was yeah, it was still an amazing movie, and I am looking I I'm looking forward to the new ones, but then I'm like I have no idea what's going to happen. It's going to be weird, right? Like it's so far, you know, it was so long ago. And I watched Avatar pretty recently, a couple months ago, I think. Um, so yeah, I don't know. There's a good reason to be worried. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, man. After what's it been like 12 years or something? But you know, there's been success stories. You know, The Incredibles 2 was amazing. You know, and that was a long time ago, man. That was weird because my older daughter grew up watching Incredibles, and now she's 17, and my younger daughter watching Incredibles 2. You know, so that's kind of funny how that worked out. I'm pretty sure I forgot which way is which. I'm just saying I have no idea which way is which. Shoot. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine. Actually, I probably need to figure that out, like, right now before I do proportions. Let's put a core back on this bad boy. Crap, the second I get in here, though, this stupid thing's gonna fall down. It's backwards, right? Oh yeah, man. Untouchables, like I had my daughter watch Untouchables. Yeah, I feel like I want to go on this like Kevin Costner binge watch. Like, there's some good movies there, man. Dances with Wolves, Waterworld, The Postman. Like, I want to see all those movies. I don't know. Crap. Ah, good call. Yeah, it's backwards. Thank you. Alright, so that's forward. Neato, gang. Let's do it. I'm excited. You guys excited? Alright, so I think the cockpit's gonna go like right here. My wife had never seen it, so I showed her the trailer and she was like, that looks freaking old. I always got this problem with watching old movies, whereas I love old movies, man. I will, like, my favorite movies are The Sting, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Like, I grew up on those, man. Like Tombstone, like I love those movies. She can't watch them because they're too old. They look old. Yeah. I need action. I need special effects. Like, I just seen an amazing story, dude. The Sting is freaking amazing, man. You guys, if somebody here hasn't seen The Sting, I highly recommend it. Hey, Adam, what's up, man? Paul Newman, Robert Redford, just like, so good. Even like Cincinnati Kid or something, like just really good stuff. Yeah, Tombstone's amazing. Alright, so wondering if this is what I want to do. I think it's what I want to do, but I gotta be sure. I might want to go out a little more. Oh yeah, dude. Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell were just. I mean, all of them, man. Were just. It was an amazing cast, man. Like just. You know, and then that Wyatt Earp movie came out after with Kevin Costner, and it was horrible. And he was originally attached to Tombstone, and he left Tombstone. Then he ended up making Wyatt Earp, which just was not nearly as good, man. Kurt Russell killed that role, dude. Just amazing. But yeah, Val Kilmer, just insanity. I might just go straight across. This is just general shape though, guys. Don't worry, we're not totally committed to this solid shape, but I'm just trying to get the overall look of it. And then we'll go in there. But I like the idea of this better. I think if I'm gonna do something, might as well go nuts. And rekindle an old flame here with the old dragline salvage that I never liked. So it's like it's getting new its guts are getting new life here, which is kind of a thing in itself. Pretty happy about that. That'll give me more room to play with too. It's gonna be a big HV. it's gonna be a big HV, guys. It's gonna be all kinds of big. Oh, I'm just destroying Jay Randall's thing here. Like a torso implant? What? Okay. Yeah, freaking Neuro made me do the Labrys last night. It's all his fault. Why am I so weird? What the hell is this? What am I doing? What? Oh, I literally took apart an entire huge, like the biggest HV I've ever made, and made it into some kind of a weird diamond. What in the hell is going on? I don't know what's going on, guys. feel like we can work with this, huh? Yeah, this is gonna be like a you know what this reminds me of? Like a long time ago, I made a what was it? It was a CV. I don't even know if I still have it, to be honest. I deleted it off the workshop just because it didn't work, and I didn't want to put something up that just absolutely didn't work at the time. It was a long time ago. I don't even think I have it anymore, actually. Before I put tax in front of stuff. Oh, I do have it. Okay. Yeah, this guy. Repair bay. Yeah, baby. Look at this guy. So this is based off of Trig's SV that looks just like this, but it's an SV. I made a CV version of it a long time ago. Yeah, we're gonna do something like that, only like new. Only like new, and it's gonna be this crazy big barge, HV barge thing. Yeah. Alright, let's do it. Wait, which way was forward? I've already forgotten. This way's forward, right? Okay, no, this that works out. Okay, do that. Yes. That's the flight deck. Flight deck, by the way, guys. I'm building an HV carrier now. Hey, what's up there, Luke? It was actually 8 hours. I was late, so you're fine. All right. Yes. Yeah, man. Come into Discord and give me shit. Couldn't get any worse. What's that?
To come and give you shit.
I figured. Well, I don't know if you were here earlier, but this is actually the original. Or sorry, this is actually the original dragline salvage that I did for the March challenge like a year ago, and I literally took the entire thing apart just to get the container extensions for some reason, and now we're making essentially a bigger version of that for some reason. Cause yeah, why not? And I don't know if it's gonna move, or it probably won't move because of CPU. I don't know yet.
All right.
Yeah, we're about to break the limits of what an HV can do. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt.
Oh, I'm sure it could hurt.
Oh, it'll hurt. It'll hurt, sir.
Smoke starts coming out the back of your
It'll hurt. This will be the most epic barge HV ever, and probably the only barge HV ever. I don't know. Now,
I'm gonna try that reforged galaxy thing.
yeah, that does look cool. So it's just a, it's an actual scenario, or it's just a mod? It's not a mod. I mean, it's a scenario.
Well, it's a scenario, but it's a scenario using the default survival. But he made it a scenario so that people didn't have to keep adding the configs manually. And because every time the game updated, it broke the configs. So this way, it doesn't break the configs.
Right.
But half the stuff he's listed, I've no idea how he's managed to do it, because I could swear blind that half of it, Elion have said, "Oh no, you can't do that." I'm like, wait. So he says it's got fully functioning turrets on SVs.
Right.
I mean, that for me is enough to play the game. Full stop.
I got you. So why don't you talk Obsidian into putting that on the damn server?
Oh, that's already in process. I've already showed it to him. He's like, "Ooh, that's interesting." I'm surprised he hasn't nuked the server already. There's a couple of blueprints I want.
Yeah, I know, Wizard. I was just messing with you guys. I know there's other barge. You do what now? You want to do what?
There's a couple of blueprints I want to grab.
Oh, right.
Before he kills the server. But
all your guys' toys, literally and figuratively.
I also want to know if I can start a game with the Reforged and switch it to creative, so that I can build stuff in creative using configs.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Watch this space. So this doesn't work. What's your backup?
That stupid thing over here.
Okay.
Or something else. I mean, they seem to get built pretty quick, so I'll probably think of something else tomorrow.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of time.
Yeah, right? Like, whole freaking month almost. We got loads of time. So what have you been working on?
I finished that that SV I showed you yesterday.
Right.
So I've got a thought about putting that on the workshop. So I decided I want to put it on the workshop.
Do you want to be in charge of putting all my stuff on the workshop?
You don't want that.
No, you're right, I don't.
Have you seen the stuff I just put on there? It's
I
like, yeah,
I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. I'm sorry. It was a joke. I didn't mean it.
I don't even take good pictures when I'm making the blueprint.
I want Crazy Z to put my stuff on the workshop.
There's like tools in the way and
Oh yeah, you're telling me, Nanu. Oh my god. Like that's the only reason you guys don't have half of the builds that I've built is because the whole texturing thing has really gotten on my nerves. And you know what it is? It's that when you keep building and you build and you build and you build, eventually you realize that all these textures are garbage and they look stupid. But it takes a while to get to that realization. It's astonishing how long it takes, but once it does, it's like, oh my god, all these textures are horrible.
there's definitely a couple in there.
There's like 3. All right, we'll do it right now. This one's acceptable, but it's not because the lines always do weird things. This is a great texture. This one right here, I love this one. This one's
the first 2 there are good.
Yeah, the third one's good in its little spots.
Okay. Yeah.
And then skip. This one's okay. Skip.
Right places, okay.
TV, vent, box, or half of what Jay Randall uses. This one's okay.
Not too bad. Yeah.
This one's okay with darker textures.
The next one a lot.
Yeah, the line one, right?
A lot. Yeah.
But it's only good with darker colors. It's not good with light colors.
I think it's good in all sorts of colors.
No, it's dirty. Look, no, I'm serious. It's fucking dirty.
One.
Hold on.
I use the next one as well.
Oh, see all that dirt? See all the nastiness and dirt? But if you do this, no, it's dirty. You don't see all the grimy dirtiness? It's like it literally needs a toothbrush to go in between the little grooves and get all that nasty dirt off.
Who gets that close to a build?
I do. It's horrible. I can't. It drives me freaking nuts. That's why I can't use it unless I do it black. When it's black, you don't notice it.
Wow.
But
you do everything black, so it doesn't really make it. That's not a standpoint.
Gray, not black. Really? Alright. It's time to see if this thing moves. Where's the cockpit supposed to go? Oh, over here. I have no idea what cockpit I'm going to use. I think I'm going to do an open cockpit. For now, let's put that. Alright, so we got that. Now we need some generators so the thing doesn't blow up. Alright, so who wants to bet this thing's not going to move?
It'll move. Just depends on.
Oh, that's surprisingly not a lot of CPU. I mean, it's not done, but at least like 70 is a decent number to. Yeah, this could maybe work. Well, let's not get excited yet. Hold on, let me see if this thing even moves.
I think I just messed my pants a bit.
Did you?
I can put turrets on an SV.
In creative?
So if you switch the survival to creative, it works.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. The next server here.
That's awesome. So that means you can, if you have the blueprint, if you have the factory active, you can still build stuff for the server in a creative game and then come back.
Oh! I mean, it's empty and I'm in creative, but this thing's moving. Yeah, baby.
Show me your talk page.
Alright. That's secretly why you're here, because I don't know how to read this. So go ahead, tell me what's what.
Talk details. The top left of the picture is a little tick box, like a checkbox. It says talk details.
Yep.
So on a HV, yours really the only one you particularly need to worry about.
The what?
Pitch and roll. The yaw is the only one you really need to worry about a lot on the HV.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch is helpful, but it's not that important. And roll is, again, unless you're wanting to do barrel rolls off of cliffs, it's not really that important.
Hi, have you met me? My name's XCal. I like to go off cliffs and do barrel rolls.
So your torque plus minus is seriously out of kilter.
Oh yeah?
Well, you've got.
Could it be because it's asymmetrical and?
Yeah, but that's the thing about that. That's why you have to try and balance the thrust. You know, when you're doing asymmetrical builds, you have to try and balance the thrust. So if you go back to your build and have a look at it, you see if you put on the center of mass.
So what's the minus? Which one's that? Is that forward, back?
Put on the center of mass thing a second, and you'll be able to tell.
Hey.
So you've got most thrust. If you kind of look on the right hand side, most of your thrust is pushing in one direction. So the whole thing is trying to rotate. As you're looking at it now, it's trying to rotate clockwise. So if you move thrust so that you've got the same amount of thrust pushing it in both directions, So like your forwards, you've got forward thrust on the right hand side there, right? If you make sure your rear thrust is in the opposite, in the opposition to the rear thrust. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it
So
is
they're
though.
both,
See, it's on the opposite
but
corner.
no, it's not. It's an opposite corner, but it's still pushing. Imagine your build is a wheel, and you stick a pin through it where the center of mass is. All of the thrusters are trying to spin it in the same direction. No, I'm looking at that face.
You just hurt my head like all kinds of ways.
Imagine it's a spinning top, right? And you've got your center of mass is the leg at the bottom, the pin. All of your force is trying to spin the top in the same direction. If you moved your rear thrust to the other side of the build, it's then in opposition to the front thrust. So your front thrust is trying to spin it in one direction, and your rear thrust should be trying to spin it in the other direction by the same amount. So if you take your rear thrust and put it on the other side, opposite the front thrust, then you'll balance that out.
So this is okay. This is the front of the vessel.
Either that
right
one
here.
or the rear one. It doesn't matter which one. One of them, they both need to be on the same side of the build.
Oh.
And, and that way you're balancing them out. So whenever you put thrust in, you need to try and put the opposing thrust in the same position relative to the center of mass.
Okay.
And I've just screen captured the hell out of that look.
So if I put them both in the center, like that would be good?
No, because then you won't get any yaw.
Shit.
Because there's no, right? So the further away from the center of mass you put them, the better you'll get torque-wise. The more rotational torque you'll get, so the better the yaw will be. So if you just take those and put them on the other side, opposite that. No, okay. Yeah, go. Just delete everything. Start again.
No. That's what you just said. What are you talking about?
No. So yeah, put those there, and then if you put the same number there, you'll see the stat on the stats page. It will be more balanced. You'll get the same stats, plus minus, or closer anyway. You won't get it exactly, not on an asymmetrical build.
12.9 and 12.8. Look at that.
Right. So that's good enough to not have to worry. So if you do that, the same for your side thrust as well, and make sure they're opposing each other.
Which would be what? Roll?
No, that will still be yaw, because they're all working in the same plane. So they'll still be yaw. Only your up and down would affect.
Well, they kind of are already. Oh no, I don't have left ones. Hold on.
Your roll and stuff, if they're above the center of mass, then they'll affect pitch and roll. If they're or below the center of mass, if they're on the evenly on, because they're almost the same as the center of mass, aren't they? They're only like one block below it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you can use combat steel on SVs as well.
Oh, nice.
Apparently that Vermilion guy really likes SVs.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels a bit more, and this isn't all the thrust I'm going to put on here, but this is a good beginning. Oh, very nice. So you said the farther away from center of mass, the left and right are, the more roll I have? Is that what
The
you're
more
saying?
of anything you have, so any thruster, the further away from the center of mass. So it's a weird calculation because what it calculates the pitch, roll, and yaw based on the distance from the center of mass that your thrusters are. It then applies that amount to where the cockpit is. So if your cockpit's not in the middle, the ship will rotate around the cockpit wherever the cockpit happens to be. It's ridiculous. So it calculates it based on the center of mass and then moves that to wherever the cockpit is, and your ship will rotate around the cockpit when you're in it. So it's a really weird way of doing it. But, you know, steady.
Hell yeah. I still can't believe I completely tore apart the entire HV just to get 4 things I could have made in like 5 minutes. Yeah, I want to build a good fighter SV probably after this build. I want to build like a new what's that thing called? The thing I made after the Switchblade that replaced the Switchblade.
I can't keep up with the naming.
I know, me either. What was that thing called? I know completely. Oh, the Talon Blade? Yeah, the Talon Blade. Like a warp capable. Like this thing is Alpha 9. I mean, it's got a lot of issues. There's no CPU. Yeah, for some reason there's RCS like floating. I don't know what happened there. I never fixed that either. There's holes in it, so it needs help. I never fixed it either. That's how it is on the workshop too. It's bad. Oh yeah, there's like I think I accidentally uploaded the wrong version, and this was the one I was just working on, and somehow this one ended up being on the workshop, and I've lost the original, so that's kind of screwed. I don't know. But anyway, I need a new. I don't know if you could build one though. I don't know if you could build like an all-around SV anymore that has all this stuff. I mean, I guess you can, because SVs just don't have as much function. So I mean, you can kind of get away with getting everything in there.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot, man. I gotta cuss you out, man. I forgot about that. You remember the guy that you sent me the music for or whatever?
Yeah.
Copyright strike. Boom.
Really?
Yeah, I got hit, man. They told me I gotta delete my whole YouTube account and shit. No, I'm kidding. I did get hit, but it's fine. I didn't question it. I just left it. So.
Who did you get hit by?
I don't know. Some publishing thing. So it could be a case where maybe it's somebody else that's claiming that his stuff is theirs. You know what I mean? Like it could be like nothing to do with him. It could be that maybe his thing is similar to somebody else's thing, or who knows.
Don't know. I can ask him. I haven't spoken to him for quite a while, but I can shoot him a message.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, just to let him know that that's a thing, and maybe, you know, if he's gonna offer that to somebody else, you don't want to mess him up.
It's weird because it says it on his website, doesn't it? It says,
Yeah. Oh, did you? I knew. Nice. Alright, so this is, you know, an SV can land on here, but I also want to make sure, like, a miner can land on here, so I need a way to get up there. And then where's the drilling gonna happen? The drilling's gotta happen somewhere here. So this thing's big enough that I could literally be on top of a deposit and just handle business, you know? Like, I don't have to go to the edge of it or anything. I do something like that too. Yeah, you missed it, man. I was on a big rant about how much better Harry Potter is than the new Star Wars movies.
Okay.
You don't agree? I mean,
I think most of the Star Wars movies are garbage. But I never really saw what the fuss was about, to be honest, with Star Wars. I think it's an interesting universe, but
wait, you don't mean the original 3, right? You mean like all the other stuff, right?
I mean all of Star Wars.
Oh, you know what? Fuck off. Are you serious?
No, I am serious. Like, and I don't mean it like I don't mean it's not. It's good, and it's fun, but it's not a particularly well thought out universe. There's loads of things wrong with it. There's loads of issues with it.
Well,
I
okay.
Think if there wasn't so much merchandising and cult following around it, people wouldn't even give it the time of day.
Well, I think you need to like qualify. Like, okay, are you talking about the, what you know now of the universe, or do you mean like take yourself back in time to when you only knew the first 3 movies?
So the first 3 movies are good if you if you look at them as I would call them more of a fantasy show, like a fantasy storyline rather
it's
than
sci-fi fantasy. Yeah, I mean it's probably the first thing I think that would qualify as both, right?
Yeah, but from my perspective, as someone who reads a lot of science fiction and has been around it since I was a kid, it's kiddie stuff.
Right. Oh, so's Princess Bride. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, but what gets me is that people hold it up as this kind of like ooh, science fiction, and actually it's it's okay, but there are plenty of other things that are significantly better.
Right. So of course, but I mean, we can all agree that it definitely started an entire thing. Like it built an entire world of fandom that probably triggered a lot of what came after, right?
It's the fans built the world, though. That's the crazy thing. Like if you actually look at the
of course, but that's what made it. That's what makes anything great. Because and that's where the success of Star Wars was, and that's what's been lost, in my opinion, is that they've now done so much to the lore and the story and the canon and everything that now it's just all kind of been ruined. Whereas when the originals were still the thing, there was so much what if, and it was a lot of fun to think what if, and now it's like questions have been answered and they don't make any sense, and it's all kind of been ruined, right? So I mean, yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but I mean, I think that's what and honestly, I think that's what fantasy and science fiction are all about, the fans kind of figuring stuff out and things to that effect, right? I mean, isn't that part of it?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I just find it a bit. When I watch Star Wars, all I can think of is light doesn't behave like that. What? Right? Why are the stormtroopers so crap? Why? Like these are supposed to be crack troops. Why are they terrible?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many things that within the films that don't work or shouldn't work. That to call it science fiction, there's no science in it. None whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. But yeah, it is a kids show. It is a kids show. At the end of the day, we were kids when we loved it, and now, because we grew up with it, it's our thing. But kids now, would look at it and, you know, I mean, well, I mean, they would feel the same magic, but like you get an adult to go watch Star Wars and they've never seen it before, they're gonna be like, I don't get it. What's the big freaking deal? So of course, and that's why we are so upset that, you know, the new movies are the new movies, but that this is the state of things. This new generation, you know, enjoys the nonsense that comes out now, and it's not, to me, it's not what it was 30 years ago when storytelling was the main part of the movie, was the storytelling. If the story wasn't good, you know, forget about anything else. I mean, International Light and Magic created special effects in a lot of ways, right? They're the ones that really started all of this, but even without any of that, the story was amazing. It was fun, it was exciting, there was a lot to it, you know? Now they're just depending on all that bullshit, and it's got to be better and more exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
The stories were very basic.
Yeah.
The original stories were very basic. They allowed, they were essentially just, you know, a bunch of people that went on a bit of an adventure. That was it. That's what made it good. But I suppose, I mean, I agree with you to a point. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy the Star Wars films. I just don't really understand how people can get so, like, I don't get the fanboys. I don't get that kind of like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, nothing else compares, you know. And when people go, oh, what have you done to my film? You know, this is my favorite film ever.
Well, I mean, only you know, only the Sith deal in absolutes, right? So I don't know. I just think that you know, we're older now, and I think that, you know, movie making and storytelling has gotten a lot more diluted, and yeah, it's a shame. And I mean, you know, I think like the whole Marvel, the whole Phase 3 and Phase 1, 2, and 3, I think were probably like the best thing that I'm probably gonna see. And after this, I don't think it's gonna get any better. I think that was kind of like the end of our era, generation-wise, and I think now it's just gonna be a lot of the same, you know, watered down bullshit. Or not, or maybe, I don't know, maybe The Mandalorian, maybe stuff like that's gonna like really tell Hollywood that, hey, you actually gotta do like cohesive storytelling. You actually gotta like make shit good. You can't just, you know. I mean, when Luke did that backflip over Vader, and, you know, that was the big oh my god moment, and everybody was losing their shit. Now Rey does like 50 million cartwheels and you know, some moves planets and shit, and it's like, oh, you know, and yeah, I didn't give a shit. I was like, oh wow, she moved a planet. That's amazing. You know, like whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's just lame. You know what I mean though, like, and then like, hey, let's kill Chewie and then bring him back in the next scene, cause yeah, I don't know, it's just whatever. I hope they do, dude. I hope they get rid of it. I hope it no longer becomes canon, and I don't know if I even want.
They won't get rid of it.
That's what they're saying, dude. They're saying that there's a big movement on the Lucas side of things to actually get rid of the last 3 movies completely from the canon. Like, he's gonna denounce them as canon.
The first 3, the 3 that George Lucas made was shit as well. So,
okay,
no,
I'll stop you right there.
No,
no,
we're not even having this conversation.
I'll stop you right there. They weren't great. Of course not. They weren't great, but they were a hell of a lot better than the last 3. And I'll stand by that.
I don't agree.
You serious? No, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Come on, man.
I don't agree.
No, there was good parts of Phantom Menace and all. There was good parts of it.
And there was good parts of the most recent 3.
I don't agree. Tell me a good part. What was great? Tell me a character that was good in the new ones.
I liked Rey.
You liked Rey? What did you like about Rey?
I don't know, the same stuff that I liked about Luke Skywalker.
Really? Tell me more.
She was a slightly more competent version of Luke Skywalker.
Slightly. she maneuvered the Millennium Falcon.
Wait.
It like,
Okay,
like, come on, man.
just stop. I'm not talking. I'm talking about the character, not what the plot said that she needed to do.
Oh, I'm talking about the character.
For me,
too.
those are separate things.
No, I'm talking about the character too, man. Luke was a bumbling idiot for most of it. I mean, he needed help every which way. But, you know, it's the same with Harry Potter. Harry Potter needed help the whole way, and he never did anything by himself. A lot of it was luck, but he was still some kind of the one, you know. He was the prophesized one, and it was intriguing. Rey was literally, you know, the whole Mary Sue thing, and I didn't want to believe it after the first one, but after the last two, I'm like, come on, really? And now she's got every Jedi in her and all this other bullshit, and it's like, what? Like, really? That's what you guys are gonna give us? Luke, at the end of it, you know, the Return of the Jedi, he was a freaking Jedi Knight, and it was amazing to see that from somebody that the first two movies was, you know, but you saw the growth in him. I didn't see anything change from the first movie of Rey to the last movie. She was the same perfect, you know, I can do anything kind of bullshit, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Really? There's nothing she couldn't do. There's nothing she couldn't do. She was a better pilot than Han Solo. She was better. I mean, just everything. It was ridiculous.
There's nothing she couldn't learn to do.
She was moving things with their mind like before. I mean, it was just ridiculous,
that's
dude.
What I'm saying. Like that's the stuff that the plot asked her to do. That's not the character.
And then they had the chance to make it make sense in the second movie. They had the chance to say, okay, the Force is extremely unbalanced, and that's why at the two opposing sides of the Force, you have all this over energy and strength, and that's why Rey and Kylo Ren are able to be so powerful. So that's when Luke was supposed to come in and be the gray Jedi and bring balance in the center and move them into the center.
Uh-huh.
And it would have been a lot more interesting thing. Yeah, it would have been more interesting.
I've never heard that before, ever.
Of the Grey Jedi?
Never heard of that. Nothing.
It's a thing.
Not heard anything about it at all. This is what I'm saying, right? People that are really invested in the universe and have a lot of time spent reading the comics or the stories, all of this, like hundreds of books out there that are based in the same universe, and they've all got different ways of looking at it. They've all got additional stuff that could go into the world. I mean, look at some of the best Star Wars writing came from the computer games.
Mm-hmm.
There was loads of really good writing in Knights of the Old Republic. Loads of it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't see... Sorry, I'm just reading chat. Someone's giving me shit. Loads of people giving me shit. Yeah, Star Wars sucks. You're all wrong.
But okay, all I'm saying is they could have worked their way out of that with good storytelling, and I think like bringing a balance to the center, I think that would have been an interesting thing. And it is canon. It is, you know, there were canon storytelling that you know was a part of that with the old Republic stuff, right? I mean, it was a thing. So it could have happened, and and it's even what J.J. Abrams wanted to do, because in the cave there was actually books that Luke had, and one of the books was the teachings of, you know, the Grey Jedi and stuff. It was actually in there, and I feel like that's what J.J. Abrams was going to do. And then, you know, Kathleen Kennedy and what's his name came in and fucking changed everything and made it fucking ridiculous. And
who's Kathleen Kennedy?
The one that the girl that's in charge of Star Wars, in charge of the Star Wars universe.
Why is she in charge of it?
I don't know. That's Bob Iger. I don't know. Who's
Bob Iger?
The fucking owner of Disney.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Let this show you how much I don't really care.
I know, but I'm just saying. And honestly, like I don't so much either. But I do love Star Wars, man. I grew up on Star Wars. I love the stories. There's a lot of the stuff, but yeah, I don't get ridiculous with it. I know a lot of people that really do. I mean, I remember famously, like, we were all when I was still in the military, I was having a really long drawn out conversation about Star Wars, but I don't know a lot about like the lore and stuff, and then one of the guys was sitting there and he was asking about, how did they make the Death Star in space? It doesn't make any sense, and they wouldn't be able to even start it without gravity, and like it would have been so hard, and then like these two guys like just in cadence said, anti-gravitational elevators. The guy turned around and said, "What?" And then they went into this long speech about how the Death Star was built and how this and that, and I'm just like, whoa, I don't have time for that. Are you guys serious? And they were just going on and on and on and on, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll never achieve that level of a fandom. I'm cool with that, right? I just enjoy the stories, and that's why I like the prequels, because I just enjoyed the stories. I was fascinated by how Palpatine became the Emperor, and I thought that storyline was really good. I thought everything that happened, the midi-chlorian thing, some of the acting, whatever, I was able to see through that and appreciate the story. And I was moved by the third movie when he became Vader and he was calling out for Padme and all that. Like that shit was like a whoa moment for me. I was like, wow, that's pretty badass. Like, I never looked at Vader as a real person. Even when he became Anakin again at the end, I didn't care. I was like, who's this really old, bloated looking guy? Like, I don't give a shit. But knowing who he was and what he went through and what he became to later have redemption and stuff was cool. Like, I really enjoyed that story. So I don't get any of that from the new ones. I don't give a shit. I just feel sorry for Finn. I feel like what's his name shouldn't have even been in the movie. Finn should have been the pilot and Finn. I don't feel like we needed the other guy, the X-wing fly guy. I don't. He served no purpose to me. And
Finn's buddy.
No, it was stupid. That should have been one character. They stretched that too much, because all Finn did in the last movie was yell out Rey. Like 10 times, that's all he fucking did, and I felt bad for him. I'm like, damn, he was like my favorite character out of all of them. He actually had some depth to him and stuff, and they ruined him.
Oh, are we going to move on now?
I mean, we
can. I
can.
start getting hate mail.
We can, but I mean, yeah, I mean, and right there, I mean, it's true, right? It was poor storytelling, and it could have been a lot better. And this is why, what I don't get is, I don't get how Hollywood operates in that way. I don't get how one guy writes a script and then they make a movie based off of that script, and then it's like the most successful movie of all time, which Force Awakens was. It had the biggest opening weekend of all time. And then they're like, hey, well, let's go with somebody else now. Let's go with other writers and other directors, and let's just do that. That sounds like a good idea. Let's mix it up. Like, no. How about we just write the whole trilogy? Because we know we're making a trilogy. Let's just write the whole trilogy. Let's gel it out. Let's get some focus groups. Let's figure out if there's anything inconcise about it. And then let's just roll with it, But how did something so big get so massively foobarred? Like, I don't get it.
Well, because for starters, it wasn't that big when it first started.
Star Wars Force Awakens wasn't that big when it started?
No. I mean the
first one.
Star Wars.
Of course not.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about that.
I mean, they were pretty big, and they were a sort of surprise hit, right? But in terms of the revenue that they generated compared to the stuff that gets put out now, they were a mediocre film. But what happened is after the first two came out, and then they made Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi was a huge box office hit, and they made a ton of money off of it. And what more importantly, probably the best thing that George Lucas did was to start Industrial Light and Magic,
right? Because
that then they were like the de facto. That everybody went to them for their stuff. Everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how Pixar started. That's literally what Pixar is now. So I mean, yeah, totally. But I mean, all
But
that.
he retained. Go on.
No, go ahead.
But I just he poured a lot of that money back into Industrial Light and Magic. Now the problem is that he was not a particularly good storyteller, right? But he had a team around him. Specifically, he had an editor that was good at storytelling. Now the problem is that nowadays when you look at films, what tends to happen is the editing is done by the studio, not the director.
Right.
Because studios realized that what happens when you let a director edit his film is you get Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Right? So that's why they don't let directors edit their own films. They tend to.
Why is that bad? Why is Lord of the Rings bad?
Because the budget was huge, and it didn't make as much money as you might think. It was horribly bloated. The edits that got put out to most cinemas were an hour shorter than the original director ones.
I don't care.
So
why does any of that matter?
What my point is that you've got these two opposing forces, right? You've got the creative force within directors and stuff that happens on set when they're filming, and then you've got everything else that happens once all the filming is wrapped. So once the filming is wrapped and you have producers getting involved that really shouldn't be, you've got editors. Sometimes you might have 2 or 3 different editors editing different sections of the film. So you know, some films these days, I've seen films that have had 4 different editors.
Okay,
they started off with one, and as they've gone along, they've chopped stuff out, moved things around, which means that the story just becomes a mess.
So you're telling me,
yeah, go on.
No. So you're telling me how that worked, right? The original Star Wars, it wasn't a big deal, blah blah blah, whatever, right?
But the new
I'm
Star
talking
Wars
about
films,
the new
right?
one.
The biggest problem with them, but the biggest problem with those was the edit. The editing was all over the place. The pacing of the film was out. Everything was wrong with it.
Right.
That's the problem. The actual story could have been good.
Gotcha.
If they'd managed to pace it properly, but it's a mess, and you can tell there's loads of story and plot beats that are missing from the films.
Cool. So if Neurosight knows that, then why doesn't Disney know that? Why? Because so my thing
they
is
do know that.
So then what the?
Because it made $1 billion.
No,
made $1 billion.
No, they're idiots.
It made $1 billion.
Right.
No one gives a
But the movies aren't even the driving thing. It's about the toys. It's about the merchandise for the next 10 years. And that shit has flopped. Yeah. Nobody wants those toys anymore. Nobody gives a shit about any of that. Nobody cares about the story. There's no spin-off. There's no Disney Plus Rey origin story where she's a little girl and she's doing everything perfectly. Yeah. There's none of that shit. Nobody gives a shit about the last 3 movies. No, but it does.
Well, hang on. Wait. Stop.
Go ahead.
People do give a shit because you're talking about it right now. We're having a conversation about it.
About the death of it, yeah. But
no, we're not.
I'm not going to run out and buy anything.
Right? He's got loads of Lego stuff. He's got tons of Lego that are all to do with Star Wars. He's got Lego games that are to do with Star Wars. He's like, those licensing deals are worth billions.
All I know is that the toy industry and what has happened with the Star Wars stuff is it's flopped. It's not selling nearly what the originals sold, what the prequels sold, it's not hitting like the other ones did. And
I don't know.
From literally that, from a profit standpoint, I don't get why they let the second one happen, and I really don't get why they let the third one happen the way it happened. I don't understand how arguably the biggest trilogy of all time, of this 2 decades, the most anticipated thing of the 2 decades, flopped worse than Game of Thrones. Like, I don't understand how that happened. I don't get it. I don't get the business of this shit. Like,
did it flop worse than Game of Thrones? Like, did it make less? Did it? As far as I was aware, it made plenty of money.
Yeah, but okay, I get the money thing. I get the argument about, it made money, it's fine, shareholders, blah blah blah. But making money right now and making money for the next 20 years, I don't understand why Star Wars is the cash grab. Why wouldn't, like, I get why a one-off movie or maybe some other thing would be a cash grab, but the literal biggest cow in the industry is what you take the money and run with? That makes no sense. How many origin stories were they going to do? How many series were they going to do with Disney Plus that they're not doing now? It's not bulletproof.
It's bulletproof. It's is.
Not.
Right. If they tell me, if they say next week that they're going to make another Star Wars film, are you going to not go and see it?
Who's going to be doing it?
Doesn't matter.
It does. It fucking matters now. Like, you fooled me
so
twice.
I would
dude.
argue that most people that are interested in Star Wars would go and see another Star Wars film, whether the last 3 were terrible or not, because they want there to be a good one. And they will try. They'll just give it a whirl. They'll hope that it's good, and if it's not, they'll moan about it for a while until another one's made, and then they'll go and see that, and then they'll complain that it's bad, and then they'll go and see another one.
Do you know
that's bad?
Do you know that there's people that, like, I know that haven't seen any Game of Thrones, right? And they, and they'll literally talk about how they want to, I should go watch Game of Thrones, and I literally talk them out of it because I feel so bad. Because I know that they're going to invest all this time in, like, the 6 seasons, and then they're just going to hate me when it comes to 7 and 8.
I stopped after, I think, about 2/3 of the way through season 1. I stopped watching.
Yeah, and I just fucking feel bad for him. And now I feel the same way about Star Wars. Like, I literally don't want to, yeah, it's just, it hurts.
I will definitely go and see another Star Wars movie if it comes out.
If Favreau's doing it, yeah. But otherwise, like, I'm shell shocked. I'm shell shocked, man. I don't know. I don't think I can. I don't think I can go through that again. And not only that, but it wasn't even like it was like some other story. You literally dragged out all these old fucking actors that I love, and you literally, like, played fucking puppet with them, and it was fucking horrible. Like, none of them got a respectful story. Like, it was just fucking horrible, man. I hated it with every. It was so bad, dude. Like, all 3 of them, it was fucking horrible, man. Han Solo was not Han Solo. Poor, Carrie Fisher and, like, just like Mary Poppins, and, like, what the fuck was that? And then Luke, and that was so not, like, God, none of them were their characters. It was fucking horrible. Yeah, that's right, Nanu. Yeah, I don't know, man. I hear what you're saying, but no, dude, I'm very skeptical now. And honestly, like, I have no interest in watching the last 3 movies again, which is insane, dude, because I've seen the original Star Wars movies over 100 times, man. Like, I've seen them so many times, and, like, it's nothing for me to watch them, and I still enjoy them. I have them on beta, I have them on VHS, I have them on Blu-ray. I fucking love them, dude. Even the prequels, I got the prequels on Blu-ray, VHS. Like, fuck, man. Like, I could give a shit about all these movies. Again.
I would watch them. They're bubblegum. They're fun films. They don't mean much.
I don't
have any significance to my life, but they're fun to watch. They're good.
I don't like the disrespect here.
No, I don't mean that. I'm not actually trying to disrespect them at all. What I'm saying is that the type of film that they are, it's not like watching Schindler's List, right? You watch that film and you're like, I don't need to watch that film ever again, but I'm glad I watched it.
Right.
Right.
Okay, that's what you mean.
I've watched the A-Team about 6 times now. It's not
the new one.
Great. It's fun. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I wish they made more of those. Why didn't they make more of those? That was good.
Because all the people that were involved in it decided they didn't want to make any more.
Oh, that's sad.
But it's fun, it's good, and it's the same with the Star Wars movies. The pod racing was great. My kid went mental when I showed him that part of the Star. I can't show him the rest of the film because he's not old enough. But he watched that, and it was amazing. He loved it, and I would happily watch that again. I thought The Force Awakens, the first of the new ones, was reasonably good. There was some great scenes in it. There was some bad scenes in it, and there was some bad acting in it.
You know how much I defended that movie? I defended that movie so hard, dude. I was like, just watch, man. Just watch. JJ's gonna. It's all gonna make sense, dude.
It's okay. It's like, it doesn't need to be the greatest movie ever told. It just doesn't need to be. It's Star Wars, right?
Hey, you know what?
The same way.
Name a better story than the original trilogy.
What do you mean, name a better story? It's the most generic story ever invented. Go and look at any Greek tragedy.
Yeah, so name a better one. Go ahead.
Any other.
Let's hear it.
Sorry?
Name a better, fully formed story. I mean, Lord of the Rings is probably the only other one you can go to.
Any of them. You won't have heard of any of them.
Go ahead. Surprise me, man. Let's see. Go ahead.
Night's Dawn trilogy.
All right, is that British or something? What is that?
No, it's a book, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, god damn it! I'm talking about films. Calm down. I'm not talking about books. Of course, books. Jesus.
Well, yeah, but that's what you should base.
No, narrative, isn't it? No, it's different, dude. Books and movies are two totally different things, and they please different senses. They completely do different things to you, man. You get lost in a book. You literally get completely sucked into a book, and it's just a whole different thing, because no matter what, you have to translate what the author's saying and forming. No matter how descriptive they are, it's still in your head a certain way. But with a movie literally shows you what you're supposed to see. So it's a totally different thing, man. I'm just talking about movies, not books. That's not even fair.
Does it need to be a series of movies, or can it just be a single movie?
Oh yeah, it's got to be a series, because that's harder, right? One off is
you just stretch it out longer.
Nah, one off is one thing, dude. A whole.
Blade Runner. Is it possible? I don't know. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't, because I couldn't anyway.
No, so like I would have accepted Lord of the Rings. I would have accepted Back to the Future, Indiana Jones maybe, but other than that,
okay. Look at Indiana Jones, right? Look at the most recent film. It was terrible.
Yeah,
The Crystal Skulls was an awful movie.
I agree. I'm not denying that.
You don't judge the rest of the. You don't judge the whole series on that one movie. So.
Wait, now you're doing my argument. I'm not talking about.
I'm gonna turn it around.
Yeah, you're okay.
I'll be
all right.
I don't know, mate. The Lego Movie. That's definitely
the first two. No, I agree. Those are good movies, man. I don't give a shit. That's a good movie.
I can't think of any off the top of my head that are series, like multiple films, because generally I don't think they work particularly well. I would say The Matrix, but I know I'm just going to get screamed at if I say that, so I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah, no. The Matrix was another. But
no, let's not go there.
But I didn't. But listen, I didn't. I see. That's the thing. I didn't hate the other two, but I just honestly I didn't really get it, and then I didn't really care enough to get it. I still don't get the ending. I still don't get it. I get what they were maybe going for, but it didn't make any sense, and I didn't. It didn't work for me. Like, I was like, all right, so now they're making a new one. So I don't know what they're going to do now, They're going to do something else now, I guess. I don't know what they're going to do, but Keanu and, what's her name are in for it. So I don't know. Let's see what happens, but.
She's pretty old now.
Serenity? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. The first couple of Jason Bourne movies.
Oh, see, that's another one that just hurt. That last Jason Bourne movie hurt, man. What the fuck? And I even like the Aaron Cross thing. I even like the what was it? The Bourne. shit. What was the one with the?
I know the one you mean. I
Yeah, that
do know
was
the one you
actually
mean.
really good. Like you know, that's part of the books and everything. There's a whole, you know, series of books for Jason Bourne. So again, those come from books, and like they
Yeah.
had something
But
to
the
go
books are
on and
nothing
stuff.
like the films.
No, no. But you know, I really enjoyed the movies, man. The three movies were freaking awesome. I really like the I like I liked what's her name in it, the lady that worked for the CIA that was kind of
Oh,
helping
you
us.
muted yourself, dude.
No, no, sorry. I said I like the one that worked for the CIA. Shit, what was her name? I forget, but she was the one that was kind of helping him, trying to bring him in, but helping him as well. And I liked what's her name, the Anna Cleves. What was her name? No, not Anna Cleves. That's what's her name.
I
That's
like all these people. I don't know who any of them are. I can't remember any of them.
no. Okay,
But they're
you.
people in that film,
Yeah,
basically.
no, no. You remember the one that she played Anna Cleves in Tudors, and she's also a singer. But then that's the wrong actress. I'm thinking it's actually the girl from the movie Save the Last Dance. Um, what's her name, man? Anyways, I liked her in it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I know who you mean.
All right, Raptor's trolling hard, dude. Raptor thinks that Crystal Skull is a great movie, and he thinks that the last Jason Bourne movie is a great movie. Um, yeah,
He's entitled to his opinion.
that's yeah, I guess. Is he? Is he? Is that what
So
we're
the
doing here?
Crystal Skulls would not have been. The Crystal Skulls was okay for about the first 2/3 of the movie. It was all right. It was a bit hammy, but you know, it's it's that kind of film. It kind of went off the rails at the end, though. I didn't like the way it finished up. It didn't really feel like it was a. Um,
I don't even remember it, to be honest. Like I watched it once, and
it's a big
I don't even
alien
remember.
spaceship that pulls the route and takes off, and I don't know
But
stuff.
but if
Stuff
you go
like
back and watch the originals, like they were pretty out there as well, right? Like the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The I mean, there
yeah, yeah.
it was pretty out there, man. Like it
I
wasn't, you know what I
remember,
mean?
I remember watching that as a kid. I remember watching that as a kid, fucking shitting myself.
Yeah, just going like, what the hell am I watching? But you know, I love the third one, dude. Like with Sean Connery as his dad, that was fucking amazing, man. Like,
That's Mel's favorite one of her favorite films.
yeah, just that one scene
It's
where
on, I think it's on Netflix at the moment.
he puts the pipe in the fucking motorcycle and it flips over. Then he looks back at his dad. His dad just doesn't give a shit. It was that was so hilarious. I love that scene, man. It is like it's hilarious. There was nobody better than Harrison Ford at one point, dude. Like Harrison Ford was the fucking man.
Well, it's a great matchup, those two together.
Yeah,
Whoever cast that was genius.
yeah. Spielberg, right?
Yeah, yeah, but he probably didn't cast it. Would have been somebody else.
Sure. I don't know. There's no good trilogies anymore, man. Like I don't know.
Well, I think the thing is that a lot of the stuff that would have been trilogies previously has moved over to TV.
That's true. That's
Which
true. That is true.
which is a better format for it. Like it's better to make 12 40-minute episodes than to try and make 3 2.5 hour films.
Yeah, it is true. That is true. And it seems to make
And a
more
lot of
money.
go on.
No, I said it seems to make more money too. It seems more profitable now to do that.
Well, it's lower overheads. It's not as expensive to make films, to make TV shows.
That is true. And honestly, like, you know, when you watch a movie, like you see a movie like I don't know. Imagine if Vikings was a movie or something, right? Like, you know, and you saw Vikings and you're like, shit, like I want to know what else happens. Like they could do a lot with this. Why don't, you know, 2 or 3 movies isn't even going to be enough. It's like so, you know, and that is true. It's a different storytelling kind of thing. Like you look at The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian would never work as one movie, right? It would have been really stupid. But you know, the fact that it's you know, this cool series and it's just kind of, you know, it doesn't take itself too seriously. and it's just really good, episodic storytelling while still being, I don't know if you've seen it yet. I don't think you've seen it
I
yet.
have, yeah.
Oh, you watched them, okay. So like it's like, no spoilers or whatever, but it's like it reminds me of Firefly in a way.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of world building, and there was a
Yeah.
lot of space to do world building, and I think John Favreau and what's his name are both very good at that.
Yeah.
They both seem to have a good eye for not only character but for world building.
Yeah.
Look at Buffy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The premise of Buffy is ridiculous. It's like, how did you get? I don't even know how many series there were, but there was a lot. How did you get that much out of such a kind of generic, terrible premise? But
Yeah.
it's because he built this huge world with all these really interesting characters in it, and people just keep coming back for it.
Yeah, no doubt. No, it's true. But yeah, I mean, I really feel like the whole trilogy things, yeah, it's probably dead, man. Like I think Marvel was the last one to like that's gonna be able to do that movie wise. I don't think, and I don't care about Marvel now. Like I could give a shit about what happens now. Like, you know what I mean? I don't
Riddick
have.
was the only thing that what's his
right.
name ever did that was any good.
Who, Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
All right. You know what? You're not just gonna talk about Fast and Furious like that, and like disrespect Fast and Furious like that. Fast and Furious.
I'm gonna disrespect the hell out of the Fast and Furious.
What the? All right, no, dude, you're not gonna do that. See, I realize that now. You take this shit way too seriously. The Fast and Furious franchise is by far one of the most ingenious things that have happened in the last 20 years to movies. They went from they went from a street racing thing that was okay. The first movie, it was a thing. Nobody had, it was kind of a new thing, and then they came out with all these other things like Biker Boys and all these other spin-offs of something like that, right? So then they came out with the second one, which was just him and Tyrese, and they were doing their own thing. It was kind of the same thing, and then Tokyo Drift came out, which had nothing to do with any of them, but it was still like one of my favorite ones. I love that movie. I've watched it like 20 times. And then the fourth one came out and reintroduced them all, right? So after the fourth one, they're like, you know what? We can't take this story any further. Like, nobody cares. There's nothing else I could do with a car that's going to be interesting in a race. And then they're like, well, hold on. Let's make it like a heist thing. And then 5 came out, and it was the most, it was the biggest, best movie out of all of them. Fast 5 was the best one out of all of them. And then from then on, they've now become these like elite freaking amazing whatevers that are saving the planet from Charlize Theron, and it's fucking amazing. I don't give a shit what you say. It's ridiculous. It is beyond fucking insane and stupid, and eventually it's going to be in space, but it's awesome, dude. You can't deny that the Fast franchise isn't fucking a lot of fun to watch.
I'm not denying it. Not for a second am I denying. I've watched all of them, and I've been highly entertained by all of them. They are still objectively terrible films.
Oh, no, of course they are, but they're fucking amazing. They're so much fun, dude. I don't care what you say, dude. You can't take them, and see, that's the problem.
I'm not saying they're not great. I genuinely enjoyed most of them.
Except for Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw was fucking horrible, and I hate it.
I enjoyed that one as well.
I hated it. I hated it.
Even when it gets all Maori at the end, it's fucking brilliant. It's just ridiculous. And what amazes me is that people can go, "Oh no, Hobbs and Shaw, that's bad," but Fast and Furious 8 that's completely fine. I'm like, what?
No,
they're basically the same film.
No, the Hobbs. You know what? I'm starting to develop a real hate for Dwayne Johnson. And it's not his fault.
Really?
It's not his fault. I think it's just like it's getting ridiculous now. I don't, it's getting to be a bit much. Like somebody else, poor Vin Diesel, man. Vin Diesel, like, just if it wasn't for The Rock,
Vin Diesel's terrible now.
okay. What?
He is. He's a terrible actor. He's genuinely terrible.
Dude, Riddick was fucking awesome, man. And
Yeah, but Riddick was like 20 years ago.
yeah, but they're still making the Return to Furia or whatever. They're still making that. That's gonna happen.
What they're making? What?
They're making the last two movies. Well, I think it's just one movie now. They're making the second Chronicles of Riddick movie. The something Furia where he goes back to his home world. That's gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
That's why he made that.
Three movies, haven't they?
No. So there was Pitch Black, and then there was Chronicles of Riddick, and there was supposed to be two more in that series, but it got canned. Okay. So then he came out. He literally put up his own money to make the movie Riddick, which was that little low budget thing where he was on the planet and it felt a lot like Pitch Black. He made that to just make the money and re-spark the interest so that he could get the backing to make the other two Chronicles of Riddick.
Interesting. No, I didn't. They were good. They were a nice bit of world building, interesting place, reasonable cast. I enjoyed them. They were good.
Do you think that they could make another Firefly movie and with the same people? Do you think it would pop off like it, or would it be? No, I was saying, do you think they could make another Serenity, like a Serenity 2 movie, and it would pop off the same way that the original did?
No.
I'm starting to feel the same way, and it's like sad.
Well, it is sad, but it's a testament to the original cast. But also
No, I mean with the original cast.
You can't get Alan Tudyk. He said he doesn't want to be involved.
You can't get who?
Alan Tudyk.
Didn't he die?
Yeah.
So he's dead.
No. He's dead in the films. He's not dead in real life.
What the fuck? Yeah, I know he's dead in the film. So why would he be in the next one? I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about everybody else.
You said original cast.
Yes, the original cast, but the continuation of the first movie. So if he's dead, he's dead. I'm talking about everybody else. Right? I'm talking about the rest of the cast. I feel like all of them could still do it.
Work as well with the rest of the cast. I don't know. I would. It'd be nice, but I don't know whether you could recapture that, because all of those actors and actresses that were involved in that have gone on to do other stuff. So they won't be in the same place as they were when they made that.
I don't know. It would have to be written well, but I think all of them could definitely still hold up their original. I don't think that would be hard for them to
you
go
could
back
potentially
to.
You could try it. You could try it like 20 years later. You could
you mean like
from
that?
They went off and did all their own different things, and now they've come back, and there's some mechanism within the film.
Well, as long as it wasn't them passing the torch. Again. I would hate to see a passing the torch thing. That would...
No, I don't. Not a passing of the torch. I'm just saying that maybe they all went off and did their own thing for 10 years, and for some reason they've had to meet up, and maybe one of them needs rescuing. And
the Reavers are back.
Yeah, and they reassembles his old crew because only they can. I don't know, some bollocks.
I'm with it. Do you think Summer, what's her name, is still hot? She's probably still hot, right?
Summer, do I think she's still what? Hot.
She's probably still hot, right?
Depends if she's wearing a jumper.
But like they were all it was two of them in Chuck, right? What was it was what's his name? The Baldwin guy and Summer were in that show Chuck. You ever watch that? There's been a lot of little, and then I watched Suits for a while, and what's her name was in Suits. Zoe, she was in Suits.
I can't remember. Yeah, she's had a lot of work over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been watching Rookie. Rookie was really good. Been enjoying that.
The what now?
Rookie.
What's that?
It's the police procedural thing. That,
I haven't watched it. I watched what was the other thing he did with the
that was good.
the other cop thing he did?
where he was an author. What was that? I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, that kind of the first series of or so was okay, but then it sort of went a bit.
Yeah, I watched the
Apparently
first couple seasons.
They hated each other.
Oh, the guy and the girl, really?
Yeah, they really, really hated each other.
How can you hate him?
That was why it all got canned in the end.
How does that work?
They couldn't work with each other any longer.
How could you hate him? Like, I don't get how that works. How do you not get along?
I don't know, man. They
That's
just didn't get along at all. Yeah, but you don't know what he's like in real life. You don't.
No, I do. I do.
It's
It's exactly like his movies. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know who else I don't understand? Like, I confuse them. I confuse him. What's his name anyway? I forget his name. How do I forget his name? I don't remember his name. But I always confuse him with the guy from the original Mummy movies. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I feel like they're the same person, man. The show is Castle. Yeah, Castle. What was his name though? But don't you guys? I always confuse him with the guy from the Mummy movies. And whatever happened to him? Brendan Fraser. That's his name. I forget where he.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, so like I get them mixed up. And I feel like something happened to him too. Like, oh, you know what's another franchise that really works is Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I really want to hate those films because Tom Cruise is a weird dude, but
they're fucking fun, right?
Work.
They're so even the last one, dude. They just get better and better.
They're really good. They are genuine. You know, he's gonna try and make a movie in space. You seen that?
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, he's been in talks with NASA for ages, and they've agreed to it. They're gonna make they basically gonna, as far as I can tell, they're gonna put Tom Cruise in space, and they're gonna make a movie.
Wait, what? A movie about what?
Like,
we've already seen
if nobody else, I don't think there's anybody else that would be A, nuts enough, and B, have enough clout and money to be able to go, you know what, I'm going to ask NASA to put me in space so I can film a movie. Like, holy shit.
Oh, dude, something's wrong with that guy.
Yeah, in like so many ways.
That's crazy. I could see that though, but then I don't get what the movie would be. Why would that be? What? I mean, Brad Pitt did that one movie, and I didn't even watch it.
Oh, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Was it? I didn't even watch it. I rented it on Prime, and I never watched it.
It's hard to watch.
Is it better than the Martian?
What do you mean?
Better
than the Martian?
No, I mean, is it better than that movie?
Are you saying the Martian is good or bad? Careful.
I'm. No, I'm not saying it's either, really. I mean, I don't know. I didn't. It was okay. I mean, it was what it was, but it wasn't like it didn't blow me away or anything.
The book of that is amazing. The book of that is really, really good.
When do you read books?
What do you mean? When do I read?
When do you read books? Don't you have kids? When do you read books?
I read for at least an hour every night.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Dang, you do. You take walks every day. You read books. Maybe I'm doing life wrong or something. I don't get how you do that.
I haven't been doing much walking recently. I've been really slack.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, during the lockdown, I've not been doing much at all.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, I used to read a lot before I drove. When I took public transport everywhere in London, I read all the time.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like, 2 or 3 hours a day, I'd read. Easy.
Is that supposed to look like an aircraft carrier? Dude, I don't honestly like. You just reminded me that I was building something. I had no idea.
I've just been watching you do it. It's just throwing, it's like vomiting blocks into the.
This is part of why I asked Nero to come in here. Well, this is why I asked you to come in because I was paying too much attention to this thing, and like sometimes it's better to just like talk shit and like then just like it just happens. So.
Fair enough. You mean you didn't want to hear my opinion on Star Wars?
Oh no, I already know your opinion on Star Wars. It's for that very reason that.
Discord's gonna be full of full of hate mail.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean it's been a pretty active chat session there, definitely. But seriously though, like why didn't you like the prequels?
Which ones?
Star Wars. Back to Star Wars.
Do you mean the first?
The prequels.
I get
Prequels.
confused.
Phantom Menace.
Oh, okay. Okay. If they'd removed the stupid alien with the big ears,
Jar Jar?
yeah. If they'd removed him or made his character slightly less obnoxious.
But was that really like that big a deal? I feel like people made such a big deal of that.
A lot, and I can tell you why it was a big deal. Do you want me to? Are you
Because
interested?
it's racist, or?
No. It's because so in films, one of my biggest dislikes about films is when they use convenience to move plot along. It's like, oh, we don't know how to move this plot forward. Let's just make him fall over and nudge this thing and make the ship move, and then we can like carry on with the film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that way of storytelling at all. Like, but when things just kind of happen for no real reason other than we need this thing over here to happen, so let's make this other thing happen to lead into that. Like, it doesn't make any sense plot wise. They just need something to happen for like an action sequence or whatever. And Jar Jar Binks was just an enabler for stuff to happen. He didn't really have any particular role in the story. Yeah, I didn't think they used that opportunity because he's an idiot.
Well, yeah,
Right?
but I mean, C-3PO and R2-D2 were Jar Jar in the originals, right? So I mean, while they are way better characters
I'd agree
and
to
this
a
and that,
point. Yeah, I'd
but
agree to a point, but they had their own story that was existing within that universe.
so did Jar Jar.
They had their own. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He was an exiled Gungan that literally became a freaking.
But he was only exiled for convenience of the storyline. That's what I mean. Like he didn't do anything particularly terrible to become exiled.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what he did.
Well, then that should have been in the film. That's what I'm saying. Like there was no kind of plot or story or anything to do with how he arrived where he arrived.
But that's anything.
Sort of,
we don't know Obi-Wan's origin story. We don't know. I mean, what do you mean? I don't think that's fair.
No, but there's enough character building. Okay. There's no character for Jar Jar Binks. There's no. I don't know. It didn't work for me. So I'm not gonna screw you. I'm not gonna defend myself anymore.
Well, he's he's actually, a lot of people say he's like a Sith Lord, and he was actually a Sith the entire time.
What?
No, really, that's a big theory. That's actually a big theory that Jar Jar is actually was a secret Sith Lord.
People need to get out more.
That's the thing, man. I don't know. I hear you, but it's I always looked at Jar Jar as just like the C-3PO of that generation, and it was dumbed down, and it was it was kind of lame, and I think it was cheesy, but at the same time I didn't hate it the way people hated it. I was just like, all right, it's whatever. And he's really not he's not in it that much to where I even care. Like it wasn't that big a deal.
I mean, I don't like the whole. So there's a lot of other stuff going on as well in those films that I don't really understand why they felt the need to try and explain the Force. It never made sense to me. you know, the whole midichlorian thing, and I was like, you don't need to explain it. Just forget trying to explain it all the time.
Well, yeah, that didn't make sense. I didn't understand why that happened.
Unless you're going to genuinely work out like a viable way for that whole thing to work, don't bother explaining it.
There you go. That's true, Nanny.
I wish they just not bothered. The first films didn't try and explain it. They didn't suffer for it in any way. Everyone just went, "There's a thing called the Force. All right, well, you know, we'll take that."
What's your take on Qui-Gon?
I don't care enough about him.
Really? You don't think he? I loved Qui-Gon. I think Qui-Gon was awesome. I think his character was great.
Him or anything. I just.
But it was his like kind of rebel defiance of the order, and you know, I just like, he just felt like Dumbledore to me, man. Like, it's like he saw the bigger point of it all, and he saw, you know, Anakin for who he was and what the potential good he could be, and all this stuff. And like, I thought it was great. I thought it was really good storytelling. I really did, and I really liked Obi-Wan. I liked how he wasn't quite able to, like, he actually had real failure that kind of proved, you know, it gave him that experience that you bring over now to the originals and go, damn, like, Obi-Wan like went through a lot of shit, like, he, you know, to get to where he was. So you felt like he was grittier in the originals after knowing all that. Like, I thought there was a lot of good character development in the prequels, man. Like, people trash it, but I thought it was genius that he knew in the 70s that he was gonna make movies to go before it, you know, when the technology was better, to have these epic wars that had to take place, like the Clone Wars. And while some of that stuff, like the clones and the, you know, all these things, I still don't fully understand, because I don't sit there and read a bunch of lore and stuff either, but the movies didn't quite explain that good enough in the prequels. But at the same time, it was still fascinating that some of these things took place, and how the Emperor had both of the armies at his command, essentially. And like, it was scary. The whole thing was really interesting, how powerful Palpatine was, and what he was doing and stuff. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good storytelling.
It is great, but I don't know, from the perspective of somebody who has been exposed to a lot of different stories. I don't remember the films well enough, and I don't mean, I'm not belittling the films or anything. I'm just saying that my head is full of a lot of other stories, so I don't remember the details of those stories enough to really kind of pass judgment on them. Okay. They seem okay. I think there's plenty. You know, I don't know. Yeah, there was some good stories. I wish they'd not tried to do too much in some of those films, but that's a common problem with films these days. Like, people, directors especially, just seem to feel like they need to, you know, add so much to a film.
Well, like what though? Like, what did they add? What was too much in the prequels?
I don't remember. I don't remember watching them. It's been a long time since I saw one.
All right, well, scene by scene, I'll take you through it here. Hold on. So, no, but like, no, dude, I think the prequels were done great. I mean, yeah, like, I don't want to probably watch Phantom Menace again. Like, I don't need to. Like, the whole Anakin as a kid thing, like, I get it. It was cool. It was this and that. There was a lot of issues, but
I think they spent too much time on certain areas and not enough time on others. Mm-hmm. That would be my biggest takeaway. I think there's parts of those films where they spent a really long time, like the pod racing stuff is a good example. They spent a huge amount of story time making those a thing, and not that much time. Like, they could have expanded on the whole, because it leans in towards a lot of the stuff. It reminded me a lot of the stuff that was in Knights of the Old Republic, and all of those stories. And I mean, I only played the Knights of the Old Republic for a while. There was a ton of other storylines that came out long after I stopped playing it. And as far as I know, they got really good write-ups. People thought they were very good. Right. So and I liked like the whole the original Knights of the Old Republic um, RPG stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know the ones I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Somebody can remind me in chat. I can't remember what they're called now. There's two of them on there. There was, sure I've got one somewhere. But, yeah, those sorts of storylines where it was a little bit more. It was a bit more fantasy, like, and they were going around like things like old tombs and digging out stuff about the Jedi and what they used to be, and I got that vibe a lot more with the prequels. The Clone Wars I thought was a pretty good, decent film. I enjoyed that, but I wish, like, Count Dooku was this cool character, and he was in it for like what 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I didn't need General Grievous.
You know?
I didn't need.
And I was like, you have these characters that are, I mean, look at the legendary actors that are playing these characters, and they seem to be really well written, and they potentially have this amazing backstory, and they're like, that's it. They're in and gone in a few moments because he wants to spend 20 minutes of the film pod racing.
I got you.
For me, like the emphasis of the film was in the wrong places for me. Like the beginning of the film when they're on when they're on the ship and they're trying to do the whole envoy thing where they're going to the ship and talk to the trading people. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then I kind of wanted there to be more of that because that was what the Jedi were for. That's like, as far as I'm aware, they were peacekeepers. That was their whole role in the galaxy. Was these kind of lone people that would go out and they would bring peace by being incredibly good at what they did. And I a lot of that was missing from the films.
Well, yeah, no, I got you there. I'm not saying he didn't make any mistakes, but at the same time, I think Lucas did a lot better job of being. I mean, yeah, there was some weird plot holes, but at the same time, like, he really brought the essence of the original storyline and really expanded it, while still trying to appeal to the younger generation and still appease the fans and still do this and that. And obviously, like, Phantom Menace was a big, like, a lot of the fans hated it. It was a big thing, whatever. But I think he did a lot better job than they did with these last three. I think Force Awakens was along the same vein. Like, it was like, okay, we're reintroducing Star Wars, we're trying to appease the original people, but we're also trying to bring in new people, we're trying to explain everything, we're trying to blah blah blah. So it's a hard thing to do with that first movie, right? So I always, I try to give Phantom Menace and Force Awakens, the benefit of the doubt, but to me, Clone Wars and the Revenge of the Sith were way better than I mean, even with what's his name that got such a bad rap for his acting or whatever, like Hayden Christensen or whatever.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
He was awful. There's no getting away from that one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, but why was he awful? I'm not trolling either. Like, why do you think he was awful?
His acting was bad.
I mean, like,
genuinely, he is a bad actor.
Like,
and if you've seen any of his other films, I
like Jumper. I like Jumper. Jumper was good. You didn't like Jumper? Teleporting thing?
No. At least I didn't like him in Jumper. It's got other people in it that rescue it a little bit, but
yeah.
Any film you name, any film is going to have bits of it that are okay. They're going to have things in it that work and things in it that don't work. Hayden Christensen was balanced by other people in those films.
So was he the only one that acted badly, or did like?
I didn't like Padme's role. I think they I think they messed that up.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think that character could have been really interesting because she went from being this, leader of an entire planet, right,
Well,
and
that's
doing
the
all these
writer.
kind of.
That's not the acting, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
think that's the
is. No,
writer.
no, no. Yeah, I'm not. But what I said her role. Like I don't think her character was particularly well developed. I don't think they did anything.
No, I agree. I think
overly-
she should have been a bigger, because you look
She
at
should have been a
Rey and you look
fucking
at these things
badass.
and
Like,
yeah, it's true. You look at Leia, you look at, and you're going like, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't
and she
look at
kept
Padme
going from
as.
like. No, and she kept going from badass. So she would be like, 1 minute she's running around with soldiers with a thing, with a laser pistol, having just come from negotiating some big thing with high-powered traders and like bluffing people and doing all this cool stuff. And the next minute she's a sobbing mess when she just happens to be in front of Hayden Christensen. It just didn't pan right. It doesn't track to me.
Leia never cried. She was never a sobbing mess.
No, she
That's
was
true.
she'd have beat the shit out of
No, that's true.
Luke Skywalker, if he tried anything, like, and that's because there was consistency in that character. There was no consistency in the characters in the original prequels. They were a bit all over the place.
No, I
I
can appreciate that.
And I found that a bit with Obi-Wan and what's his name? Yeah, less Qui-Gon Jinn, but Obi-Wan's character as well. Like there was a little bit of inconsistency in the way that they portrayed the characters.
Yeah.
Which, for the most part, was fine. It didn't make a big deal, but I think sometimes it came across.
But he was, yeah. But I thought he was. I mean, I think Ewan McGregor is freaking awesome in that role.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the series.
Yeah,
because I think that kind of character lends itself to a series really well. The same as the Mandalorian, like you've got these kind of individual people that are. The world building is let rip with the Mandalorian. That's what makes it so good. Like you've got this amazing basis for a world, and then you've got people that are able to realize that world and not trying to make it too realistic, not trying to explain stuff too much or trying to do anything. It's like we have this thing, it works. Stop asking questions.
right.
That's how that's how that the Mandalorian plays out. It's like, and you don't get a chance to sit there and go, why would they be riding these weird little things? Like, why not? Why would they do this or why would they do that? Because the narrative is moving on fast enough, and there's enough things for you to see and look at that you don't think about that sort of stuff.
And I have no expectations for the Mandalorian, and that's the difference. There's nothing that I'm like, I need to see this, and this. They have to, have an ode to this and that, and I don't need any of that. And I know that they're bringing in who's gonna be in the second season that they're bringing in from the original? I can't forget. Somebody important. It's somebody important too in there. Oh, what's her name from Clone Wars? Anakin's Padawan. Asuka. Yeah, her.
Oh, you're talking about the
Season 2 of Mandalorian.
The cartoon, aren't you?
The cartoon. So what do you think about those?
I haven't watched any of them.
Oh, of course not. They're great.
I probably will.
They're fucking great, dude.
I never had time, mate. Never. There's a lot of stuff out there to watch, and it's not just wasn't high on my list.
Oh, it needs to be. You have Disney Plus, right?
No.
Oh.
Well. Don't have Disney Plus in Singapore.
Oh, sure. So yeah.
Not yet, anyway. Well, apparently they're hiring in Singapore, then, so I think it's coming soon.
I've been for the past 3 years now. I've been toying with the idea of purchasing a Ultra Saber. So you know what those are, right?
What?
Okay, so there's this. I mean, there's a couple companies that do it, but I've been looking at Ultra Saber as the one I want to use. But basically, they make lightsabers, but like they're like full on like.
Can I just remind you are a grown-ass man.
Well, this is why I haven't gotten one yet.
Children.
I know I haven't gotten one yet because of this fact, right? And they're like $500, right? Because I really want the original one, the one that was Anakin that then became Luke's, and then I guess eventually became Rey's. Like that's the one I want first, and then the second one I want is actually Ahsoka's two lightsabers, right? Which they have that too, but they're like $400 each. So like I don't think I'll ever get them, but if I could just get that one, I would feel like, because I'm not one of those people that has a bunch of like replica stuff. I don't have action figures. I don't have comic books. I don't have any of those things, right? But just having one thing like that would be really cool. You know what I mean? Just to kind of have that. Like if I could have that, if I could have like the Sword of Gondor or something, just something like, you know, just a couple little things like that to
Sword of Gondor.
I don't know, just, you know what I mean? Just a couple of
It
things.
just reminded me. I was watching Warrior Nun last night, right? And there's these bits in it where there's a fucking nun walking around with a sword on her back, right? Dressed in a habit, like a full-on nun's uniform with a sword on her back, walking around Midtown Spain, and no one cares. Like
nice.
there's all these people walking around, and no one even looks at her. Like, how does that work? It's just these like ninja nuns flying around all over the place, and no one gives a shit. No one cares. It's like, what? That happens all the time, right?
There you go. I feel like we need to do a new stream where I wonder if you could do this, like, you know, like Mystery Theater 3000, like literally just watch movies and like commentary the whole time. I feel like that would be good, man. We could watch like Phantom Menace and then just like commentary the whole time.
I don't know whether I could survive the night. I'd have people posting me nail bombs.
Dude, that would be an awesome. I wonder if you could do that on Twitch. Are you allowed to do that?
There are ways of doing it, I think. I'm not sure whether you could stream it. I'm not sure. I don't know. You could look into it.
That could be a thing, man. Watch like and then, you know, I'll watch some weird thing that I've never seen, like Battlestar Galactica or Star Trek.
So that surprises me. I'm surprised you never watched that series.
I've never, honestly, dude. Like so as a kid, I watched.
It's hard work. It's long. It's hard work. It's a lot of it.
I've watched all the Star Treks, right? So I grew up on, you know, the original, the Next Generation, well, sorry, not the original, but I watched the Next Generation. I watched Voyager. I watched Deep Space Nine. So I've seen those as a kid. I never watched any of the movies. I never got into the lore of Star Trek. I understood who the characters were and the races, kind of, but I didn't, like, you start talking to me about shit, and it's like I don't really connect a lot of it. So, and I know the new movies aren't part of the canon or whatever, so that's not a thing. I did like the first two, I think, of those movies, but whatever. So, Star Trek, no. But yeah, no, I never watched sci-fi like that. I watched Quantum Leap. I loved Quantum Leap as a kid. But yeah, all these other ones that people are like, oh, have you not seen Stargate? Or I saw the movie, but I guess there's more than just the one movie. Yeah, like there's a lot of these series that I just never watched, and I guess it would be fun to kind of go back and watch those. But then I don't know if they're like super dated by now.
Oh, they will be. I mean, Stargate was dated when it came out.
Okay. You can't stream a whole show. That sucks, man. I mean, I'm not saying like I want to like monetize it or anything. I mean, just for fun, I think it would be cool to like. So I don't know. I gotta read like my affiliate whatever thing and see if that's a thing, or maybe just Google it or something. I don't know, but that would be fun, dude. I feel like that would be a thing. Like I remember me and my buddy like were obsessed with the movie Anchorman for like we still are, but there was this thing there was this thing where you could watch a movie at the same time together online. This was like pre-streaming and shit. So we literally sat there and watched the movie together online. And it's fucking hilarious. We were just laughing.
It's the same as going to the cinema.
Yeah, but you know, when you're online, like, you know, that's not. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to kind of watch it together, right? Like an online movie night kind of thing. There's the fucking dude. I was looking for that shape like this entire time I was talking, and it's not even the shape I need. Fuck me.
Oh, you're still building something. I wasn't even looking.
No, I'm still always still building. Doesn't work. Oh, I know what I'm doing.
You have to flip.
No, it's because I shouldn't have done that. Sorry, I've done this before, I think. I remember now. Took me a minute. But yeah, that would be cool, man. We got to look into that. That could be a thing, man. I mean, I don't know if you guys would be interested in watching that, but I think that'd be a good time. Just if anything, just to hear, just to argue with Neuro would be fun. That's always fun. I think maybe we get Zovia in the mix, and it would be a fucking party.
I can't argue with Zovia.
Yeah, she's hard to argue with.
She just says, "Nope, you're wrong," and that's it. Like there's no conversation there.
Right. Well, she's really good at arguing. That's the thing. It's like not arguing, but she's really good at making a statement, and then you just can't argue with it. You're like, yeah, I guess that kind of
She's
holds.
very good at shutting people down.
Yeah, that's wrong. That one's like that. Yeah, I think this this might work, man. I think I'm married to this thing. It's a hell of a lot better than that other fucking one I was doing. Where's that thing? Over there? I mean, it's really a really bigger version of it, but it's yeah, this thing is better because you can actually walk through the bottom of it. And like, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like a whole thing, right? And then we're gonna have drills. I don't know where I'm putting the drills. I think maybe, I don't know. One of these things is gonna be a big drill area. Probably this back area is gonna be where you sit and drill, and there's gonna be drills underneath, and you're just gonna be able to like 4 people can go in there and just go ham on something. It's gonna be craziness. Like nobody's ever gonna use this. It's just proof of concept, but. Like, I can't imagine anybody going like, hey, I want that really big HV that has, like, a decent amount of cargo. Or, no, I want the flapjack that already has way more cargo and is a lot less. And, you know what I mean? Like, I could literally make a CV that would have, like, 10 times more cargo. That would have, like, 10 times more cargo and have, like, you know, the same size. But it's a CV, yeah? But whatever. I don't care. We're making a big, obnoxious HV. How it's gonna be. If you do that, you will have to make a space station in Empyrion as your base to watch movies. Oh hell yeah, no, you'll make it, Nanu. You'll make it, sir. That would be cool, man. Oh, I wonder. You know what, dude? I could do that. I could literally do that graphically. You could imagine us having a theater that we make in the game, and us literally sitting in seats. And then I would have like a view. I would do like a third person view, right? And then I would have like a big green screen like in front of us. And then I could literally superimpose the movie in OBS in my stream, and it would actually show the movie on the screen, but it would show us, it'd show the back of our heads like watching it. Dude, that would be so sick. And then just watch the stream that way. Oh man, dude, that would be so cool. I'm gonna figure that out. We're doing it. Phantom Menace, guys, it's happening. Do you remember when the original movies were in the theaters again? That was the best. That was probably the best, dude. Because I was too young to see them, you know, in the originals. Like my dad went and saw it opening night at the Chinese theater in Hollywood or whatever. He saw it opening night, like the first one, but I was too young, obviously. I was born like 2 years later or whatever, so seeing the originals like in the theaters was so freaking cool. But they were like the messed with ones that Lucas messed with. But still, I mean, they were still cool. I remember when people were upset about that. Oh, they had no idea what was in store for them. Oh God, what did you do with what's it, Jabba the Hutt, right? They really messed him up. That first edit, and then they fixed it. But God, that first CG edit was so bad. He looks so fucking bad. Stubert's seen the originals, nice. Yeah, so I think we kind of did something here. What do you think?
You did. You did something.
It's a thing, right? I guess a thing.
Yeah. It looks good. It's nice because it's really flat.
Yeah. Yeah, the other one was weird, right? Boom, you could literally fit the Becker on it. That's saying something.
So you built a HV to carry other HVs.
Yep. Yeah, with cargo. So it's for a mining expedition. So like, you know, you get guys with like 2 or 3 miners and they go out and they mine, but then it's also got drill turrets, so you don't have to do that. Or you bring an SV, and if shit goes down, you got an SV to take care of something. Or you got a tank to take care of it. Like, it's so versatile. Oh, I'm not muted for the stream. I'm muted for you. But yeah, so like tanks and SVs and whatever, right? Like, yeah, it's like a thing. It's versatile. Right? I could, dude. Okay, hold on. Let me blow your mind here. Hold on. 12:53. Dude, what if I deleted the wrong thing and then all this went to shit? Let me save this before I fuck around and do that. HV for HV thingy. HV for HV thingy. That makes sense. This is why I can't find any of my builds. Alright, so yeah, watch this. Shit, I forget what this thing's. What's it called? What's the thing called? That's the.
What are you asking?
There it is. Here it is. All right, I found it. Boom. Boom. I've got an HV that carries a CV. That's it, guys. That's it. That's all you need.
Just don't whatever you do ask why.
No, don't ask why. Don't ask why. Just accept that it's a thing. No, that's it. It's just a thing. It's like, hey, I want to move my CV, so I'll use this HV to do that. And oh, it's kind of heavy, but it works. Yeah, look, I'm carrying my CV around in my HV. Let's go. Look at all this cargo I got. That CV's got 320k. And then this thing's got what, 3, 6, 9, 12, like 130k. A lot of cargo.
It is a lot of cargo. Does anybody mind that much?
See, that's the other thing. I don't think so. I get bored after the first deposit. But I don't know, maybe there's people out there that literally do that much mining. I don't. Man, I get bored super quick. You know that. I mean, how much did I mine in the server? Like, not a lot. I think a couple deposits, and I was like, all right, that was fun.
I don't think I mind anything.
Oh, well. Okay.
I'm just waiting for other people to do it.
Oh.
And then used all the materials to build a huge ship.
Right?
Yeah.
Alright, well, that's the thing.
What's going in there then?
Well, this is gonna be like living thingies. I'm actually gonna make like a living ship. Like, you're gonna actually be able to, like, we're gonna have birthing, we're gonna have a kitchenette. This is gonna be the hallway with all the kind of stuff. And then over here, we're gonna have like a captain's quarters, and over here, I don't know, dude. We're gonna have stuff. It's gonna be like engineering over here. Maybe I have a warp drive.
Who are you? What have you done with real Excalibur?
I know. I don't know. There's a lot of room, and I need to justify it. So we're gonna figure it out, man. But no, this will be basically like the mining area, and yeah, it'll be like a functional salvage thing, because we're also gonna make this salvage vessel too, right? So I'll have a multi-turret or 2 on it too, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be like a whole. It's kind of the way, like, the reason I made the remember when we did the CV thingy, the CV attack thingy, where I made them all. So this was
yeah.
Yeah, remember that? So this was so you go to a POI and like you can bring your thingies, And
Wait, that's not gonna fit.
no. But no, this won't fit on there. Don't be silly. But yeah, like, you know, this thing's for like bringing things and attacking a POI, and then it's got everything, right? It's got a little. I wonder if this still works. By the way, guys, if you're new,
Did
this
you put
is
it on the
actually
workshop?
no, I never put it on the workshop. But this is in the community blueprint sharing, so I did share this with the community. So if you guys want this thing, it's basically meant to attack a POI.
If you want this thing, you're gonna have to look back through 9 months worth of posts in that channel to find it.
No, it was recent. It was recent. I recently shared it like less than a month ago. Because I brought this up at some other time. But yeah, you could literally park this thing in front of a POI and it'll just do its business. It'll just handle up on that. And then it's got the little things for the drones up here. Like for the little dronies and stuff. Plus, honestly, like if you just go, if anybody's new to this Discord and you go through the challenge submission channel, like that's never been deleted, right? Like that's got like a year and a half's worth of just amazing builds, man. If you guys, just go back to that month and you'll see CVs that just, it's insane, the shit that they came up with. You remember Hush Dispatch with the thing that actually landed over the POI and attacked it internally?
Yeah.
Like, what the?
I can't remember who was it who made the shield one. There's one that was shaped like a giant shield.
No, that was Salustakor. That was Salustakor's first
I
build that we saw.
actually spawned that in on a game a little while back. It was ridiculous.
No,
Ridiculous.
that was insane, dude. That thing was so beautiful. Yeah, that was Salustakor's first entry in the community, man. That was amazing.
Yeah, there was some good ones there. That was a bit of a ridiculous one.
Well, it was a ridiculous thing, right? But you know, I think next month. I know what I want to do next month, so next month's gonna be cool. It's gonna be less. I don't want to say less challenging, but it's gonna be a bit more enjoyable. I think this month is really hard. Everybody's kind of moaning and groaning about it, so we'll give you guys a good one next month. Well, once you figure something out, yeah, it's like, hey.
Yeah. I was lucky. Mine came together pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I didn't try and do an H3.
Yeah.
Although that didn't seem like it was particularly difficult to get functional
once you know, but then again, I haven't been in survival yet with anything in the cargo, so that's gonna be a wake up call. I think we'll see how it goes, but I mean, I don't need this thing to be zippy. I don't need it to be some, I mean, it just needs to move decent. Like I'm gonna have harvesters to kind of clear a pathway if there's like trees and stuff. But I want this thing to kind of move a bit slow because it's a big thing. It shouldn't move fast. Like it reminds me of like the Jawas, right? With their big fucking whatever tanky thing. I keep forgetting what that thing's called. People keep telling me in the chat. But yeah, kind of like that thing. It was really freaking slow. And they went all the way back. They found the dead corpses. They came all the way back again. They caught up back to it. They rescued the droids. They did all that, right? I mean, because it was so freaking slow. So that's fine. It could be slow. The sand crawler thingy. I think that's what it's called. The sand crawler.
Sorry, did you manage to come back to Star Wars again?
I did. Saw that?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't subtle, was it?
What?
It wasn't subtle.
Oh, it wasn't? It was pretty subtle.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna head off, dude. It's late. I need some lunch.
No, yeah, I think we're done. Guys. I think that's probably that's a good dude. We made a whole thing. This used to be another HV, and now it's not. Now it's a whole nother thing. So, yeah, thanks everybody. Sorry it was a late start, but yeah, we got to have a good conversation here, I think, and we might have a new series underway if I can make it work. So, thanks again, Neuro, for showing up, man. That's cool.
That's cool, man.
Catch y'all later.
Yeah. And we're clear.